Cool.
My name is Claudine Ullman, actress, improviser, and all-round hustler, and you're listening to the Big Time Podcast, my chance to speak to industry greats, movers, shakers, and game changers, people who are making waves and setting new standards. Who are they? What inspires them? And what do they have to do to hit the big time? You hit the big time, baby. Joining me today is TV presenter.
No, it's not TV presenter. It's radio show host, and hilarious comedian Neil Green.
What you could have let that out into the universe. Like, you never know what TV people are looking for presenters. You know what I'm saying? You could have just let that ride.
You know, let's change it. We're going back. Hold on, I'm redoing my intro. Pretend that didn't happen. Ladies and gentlemen, TV presenter, TV presenter with his own Netflix special, the hilarious Neil Green.
Yeah!
Yay! Hi, friend. Hi, welcome. It's so nice to see you. This is so cool. So you are sitting in your radio. Neil Green, for those of you who have been living under a rock, is a presenter and a host on East Coast Radio. So he has actually gone to the studio to do this interview, which I was like, this is so profesh. This is the most professional we've ever had. I want you to know.
I have to be honest here, though. I came to the studio because my radio show starts at 7. So I didn't know. So I came here to do it. So I don't have to rush to work. Yeah.
I thought it was for me, but fine.
No, and also the lighting. I save a lot of loose powder by doing it in this lighting.
You look so cute. Lockdown is treating you well, my friend. Let's actually talk about how lockdown is treating you. How is it treating you?
I'll be honest with you. I won't complain about any of my experiences over lockdown, simply because being on radio has helped, like this came at the right time for me. So my thoughts and my other industry, I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian first, right? That everything that's good that's come out of my life has come out of being a comedian, right? Yes. So when I look at my comedian brothers, we were having conversations in the beginning. Our family, our brothers and sisters here in comedy, it's been tricky, man. Like, so how can I put it? Even when good things were happening, like I was nominated for a radio award, and it's like I don't even want to talk about the good things that's happening, because like I can see that everybody's concerned. We don't know what's happening. There's so much uncertainty, and it's been a weird time. So I have nothing to complain about. I've been hit. Yeah. We've all been hit, but me nowhere near as bad as it could have been. So I'll say it was good. I'll say it was really good for me, actually.
Okay, thank goodness. It's really good to hear. I mean, this industry has just been so hard hit. I actually I tweeted today about we're allowed to go back to theaters. How many people are actually going to do that? Like, would you go see a show now? I don't know if I would. I honestly don't know if I would. Would you?
Yeah, I'll tell you why though.
Tell me.
My daughter's about to go back to school on Monday, and you can come to me with all the scientific things that you want to tell me about how the children have blockers inside their DNA. Listen, it is terrifying for me that I have to make my daughter go back to school. I know that she's 99.9% safe, but I have to let my daughter go back to school. And if they're saying it's okay for me to send my children back to school, then everything's on the board then, because that's my worst fear.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about myself first. You get what I'm saying? So if the children are going back to school, then I'm in. Then we can all do whatever we want to do. I know we can't actually, and I'm being flippant when I'm saying that, but that's the truth. I feel that way.
Yeah. So we also have to go back to reality at some point. Yeah.
Yes.
Except what's going to be shit about the movies. You're not going to be allowed popcorn and Smarties. So what is the point?
Well, wait, what do you mean no popcorn?
How are you going to eat it with the mask and people's hands and touching the thing? I don't think it's going to be the same experience.
Hey, I'm slipping underneath the mask or something. Like I'm eating popcorn in the movies. I get it.
Getting it in there. Yeah.
Get like a popcorn funnel, like we like, you know, like when they do the beer in the white movies. And then
Just
people
throw
what's
it
that
in
thing
the
called?
top. It throw it in the top.
I've never seen.
Oh,
Have you ever seen someone do that in real life? I've never seen someone do that in real life.
I have, but you know why?
is it?
I went to Wits. I studied at Wits, and I went to like all the O weeks, and all you do at O weeks are like funnel and keg and all of that stuff. So you've got people upside down with a keg, living the dream. So it's only when you're a student, I think.
Oh yeah, I didn't study, so maybe that's why I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, my friend, you missed out on the kegs worth of alcohol.
And lots of gainful employment. Lots of gainful employment opportunities. It's not big.
Just saying, you, my friend, are sitting at a radio station right now. So, fuck university. Fuck university. That's what I say. That's what I say. So the truth is we are actually here to, the reason why I bloody love the show is it's so inspiring for me, because I get to interview people who I really admire and hear about their journey and how they got into comedy. And not that every episode is about comedy, but their journey, their successes. So I want to hear about your journey and your successes. So if you didn't study, how did you get into comedy?
No, my life is a Disney movie. Let's start. Which
one? Because if it's The Lion King, I don't know. I can't help you.
No, it's hectic. But just for example, that thing of didn't study. Like I did study. I went to a trade school and I did my N3 in electronics, right? But there was no computers in my school because I went to a township school, so we never had computers. So before I went to study at DUT, I went to do a bridging course in computers so that I had touched the computer before because I was studying electronics, right? So I went to this place called Academy of Learning. I don't know how old you are. You're younger than me. I don't know if you remember Academy of Learning. That was the one. Pre-Demlin, pre-Boston College, all these places. That was like the computer specialist. And I went there to study.
So computer specialist. Very different now. Yeah.
What was that thing called? A+. I went to do my A+, like a hardware course in electronics, right? And I literally went to campus one day and there was a sign on the door said that campus is closed. So I thought, okay, something happened. They closed the institution, like all branches, all 108 Academy of Learnings in South Africa. Clear.
Why?
I don't know. Something happened with Sambo.
Neil's coming to study. This could be dangerous. Let's make his
money first.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I lost my money, and then I was working part-time you get a student job. I was working in Truitt's, and then I just carried on working in Truitt's after that. I just never bothered going back to study at all.
And what about comedy? How did you discover it?
I used to write for a website called Braino.com. Right? It was a cracking website.
It sounds cracking. It sounds cracking.
You know, that time when forums were lit, like when you would go into the forums and type in the forums. So the colored people had their own forum. Braino.com.
Oh, what was your forum? We had Braino.com. Ours was Merc. Were you also on Merc?
No, I don't know.
We were on Merc. And I mean, we were little. Like we were like 10, 11 years old, and we literally had names like Space Babe and like these ridiculous things. And we used to
what was your MySpace name? I have to know your MySpace name.
I can't remember.
Okay, I'm sure.
But I had a MySpace page. I was on all the platforms, like MySpace. MySpace, Merc, all of that. So I totally get Braino.com.
Yeah, so I was also I was MySpace. We were learning, AOL and typing and those kinds of things.
SAP, what was it? It was like SAP, SUP, something. I don't know what it was. And you would ask all the letters and I don't know.
Oh, no idea. It was the time of our lives, right?
It really was.
And so I started writing. I started doing writing in the forums. I did a forum post. I did 2 of them. And the guy that ran the website said, yo, these are funny. Can I put them on the front page as articles. So what I was doing, I was writing these they were called Marion Ridge Myths and Legends, and they were sci-fi and fantasy stories based on life in the township. So then, like in the township, we would have like all these crazy stories, like there's a baboon that goes around and attacks you if you're out after 11 o'clock at night. You know like the stuff that like the parents
Try to terrify the people.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
hilarious.
So I started writing that on the site, and it became a bit quite popular on the site. And there was a guy that was at independent newspapers at the time, and he contacted Carvin, because Carvin was like the only person that did comedy that time, and from Durban. And he was like, "Yo, this guy writes this thing. You should get him to do comedy." And Carvin contacted me, sent me an email, and myself, Rishlu Bonwa, sends on a whole lot of guys that do comedy now. And later on, Sfiso Nene, we formed this little collective called Laughing Stock, and it was mental. It was the wildest of Wild West times, but we were just having fun. We were doing like little theater rooms and just having a jaw. And I never thought that comedy would be something that could be sustaining in any way. I was a hardworking office lemming type O, went to craft every day, worked my way up to middle management. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm not trying to like stance on your people and all that, but I had a company laptop. Like, listen.
I get you, kid. That's big. That's big.
I'm not trying to throw it in anybody's faces and all, but like, so
yeah.
I was an IT guy. So like I lived like a very like stiff collar straight life.
And this is how many years ago?
Like 2015. Like up until recently.
Stop it. So you have been doing comedy for 5 years?
No, I've been doing comedy. I started comedy in 2007.
Okay. But you quit your job 5 years ago.
I got retrenched. I was never quitting my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, people talk about the dream. Grind. Yeah, they were like, if you believe, chase your dreams. I was chasing nothing. I loved my company laptop.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I feel like it's so good. It's so great that you got retrenched.
It was the greatest.
You wouldn't be here.
Great. Yeah, that's exactly what it all happened. Like in that timeline, I was doing comedy very much as a thing I just enjoyed, and then I lost my job. And at the time when I lost my job, they pay you out the big, like your pension money, pay you out the big pension money. And I came up and I did a show at Goliath. Yeah, I did a show at Goliath, like when Goliath would just open their time. And I just said, I'm not going back. Like, I'm going to try and use this money for as much as I can and try and make more money on the side and subsist. And my wife did everything, man. Like, she supported me literally financially through like that whole thing. And I ended up I went back to work a couple of times, like in this period. Like when it got tight, like
yeah, you were like, I will be doing any sort of technology stuff I have to. I need that company laptop back. I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm and I'm not trying to ruin your concept of what you're doing here, but I was never a person that was like super motivated and believed in myself and I was just gonna achieve. Like I have 4 children. Like I pay a bond. Like I was very much locked into my responsibilities, and it just so happened that things worked out for me because don't get me wrong, I worked very hard on comedy. It's my thing. I'm passionate about it. I've grinded at it for many years, and I'm happy that I get to eat off it now. Well, not right now. Yeah. When lockdown is over, we'll eat again nicely.
Totally. That's so cool. It's so cool. And you know what is so awesome is like, when I've performed overseas, and I'm actually talking like particularly in New York, you see comedians who do comedy full time, but are homeless. They're homeless. And that's also it's not okay.
No,
it's not okay. Like there's no shame in, and for the purists who feel like all you should be doing is comedy or you're not a real comedian, There's no shame in surviving and actually working to support comedy.
And you know what? In a lot of ways, it makes your comedy better, because I found that the times when, because now I have radio as another form of income, and I do lots of other like corporates and content creation stuff. Like I got stuff going on besides comedy itself now, right? But the times when I only had the money from these 2 gigs to look forward to in the month, it changed the way you were doing comedy. I made bad decisions, because if somebody was phoning me,
I'm
desperate. If somebody phones me and says, "Yo, I want you to come do this thing at a church in Hillcrest. I can only pay you 400 rand." Like everything about it is like I'm not getting paid the right amounts of money for the traveling that I'll have to do to get there. When I get to the place, I can see, this thing's outside by a fire. There's no mic. Like, it's just weird. Like, and that's not a hypothetical situation. That's a real thing. And
yeah.
I know. Like I would literally do any show if you were paying me more than 200 rand. Like if you had 200 rand to give me, I would do it. And that's the thing. I did a lot of shows that I shouldn't have done, like at all. And that takes away from your artistry. Anytime that you're doing something, and I mean, there's the other side of that as well, Claudine. There's the time when you get called in and it's this massive corporate thing and they want to sanitize what you do. And they say, we booked you, but we don't want you to really talk about, I know there's this Black Lives Matter.
You speak about,
there's Black Lives Matter happening at the moment. Some of our guys wouldn't like it if you said Black Lives Matter. Like anytime somebody calls you.
They basically want you to come in but not do anything you do.
No, don't do anything. So that's the 2 sides of the spectrum. And it's weird to me. Like even like dressing formal when they book me for a corporate. I'll never understand that. I do it. I respect the client. But like that doesn't, like, I always feel more comfortable as a comedian when I'm dressed casually. I just did my special now. I did my special in the tracksuit pants and tackies and a t-shirt that I threw over, because that's I feel the most like myself,
Yeah, you felt good.
Imagine if you booked, I don't know, like a rapper. Like if you booked a rapper to come perform at your year-end function and told him, look here, but it's a black tie function. So I don't know. Look here, Nicki Minaj. I don't know what you normally wear for these things, right? But I'm gonna need you to wear a power suit, preferably with a pencil skirt on the bottom. And then, like, it's so dumb. Like, what are you doing?
You just got the wrong person. Like, don't hire us for what we do. I get you. Yes. I totally get you. What is your special, and where did you shoot? For Showmax?
Yes, I did a special for Showmax.
What's it called? What's it called?
Last Boss.
Last Boss. Okay, cool. We are going to look out for Last Boss. There's so many awesome Showmax specials. That's so bloody cool. Is that your first one?
That's my first time. It's my first time.
And how did you feel? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the process of like shooting a one-man special for Showmax.
I'll be honest with you. I was so worried about like the technical aspects of it and the production and are people gonna come and all those things, because the actual comedy. I've been doing comedy for 13 years. I was ready. Look, 70 minutes is not going to be a problem. I got the comedy part. I'm good. But like it was very nerve-wracking. Like even standing on stage when they first called me up and they said Neil Green, and like you walk out, it doesn't feel like you're coming out to a show. You feel the weight of expectation of this thing's gonna be on the internet and latest.
Yeah. That sort of pressure is next level, I can imagine.
But it was
that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. That's so awesome. I'm definitely going to watch it. That's so bloody cool. And tell me, in this 13-year career that you've had in comedy, you've done so much. Got a one-man special, you on radio. Has there been a moment in your career where you've gone, this is it, I've hit the big time?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. With radio, because this radio station here, like in Durban, it's like such a big part of the community. There was aspects of this that I wasn't ready for, that I didn't realize at the time, that I've kind of had to like grow into when I got here, right? Is I was always a comedian, but I was never a celebrity. Yes, that's the best way I can say it. I've been a comedian for 13 years, but in that time, I've never been a celebrity. Like now and then people recognize me and go, "Oh, you the guy from the thing. Oh, I came to Catalina Theatre and I saw you there." And then I did after that Comedy Central special, and there was another DVD special that I did. Like people would recognize me, and I had a lot of cachet within my community or within Durban. But I would never be walking somewhere and somebody goes, "Hey," like I never, like the
oh
way,
my God, it's Neil.
like the way I was when I saw Tomorrow Day that one time at Splashy Fin. Like no one's even done. No one's even done.
Yeah. I totally get you. Totally
like I've never been a celebrity. And then I came on the radio, and the radio just makes you like being on this station specifically made me realize like what it felt like to be on the other side of that interaction. Like people coming up to you and saying, "Oh, my son loves you, but he can't be here right now. Can we do a video to send to my son? Just it would mean so much if you just say hello to my son." I'm like, yo, guys, this is weird. Like, so yes. When we talk about
many comedians have actually built their career from radio. It's just such a great platform because you're entertaining. You're entertaining already. You've got thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people listening to you. What a fantastic platform for a comedian. It's just perfect.
I can imagine having like a TV show, or being on a TV show would be like even much more. And I mean, some people's social media platforms even dwarf that, because we've seen that like in our time. There's comedians that social media presence dwarfs anything that like is happening in traditional media, and those people are celebrities. We look at somebody like Lasizwe, who is on TV now, but I'm just saying he ended up on TV because of the monster social media that he had behind it. So now we're living in a time, and I'm not like that. If you've interacted with me on social media, I'm only there for clowning. I'm not there for brand building. And like I do very little of like promoting or trying to get numbers and get on social media. I'm just there for fun and to see what's going on, basically. But
how do you sell your shows then? If you're not using social media, how do you sell your shows? Is it like,
you're asking a valid question, yeah.
I'm like, how do you do it? That's the only way I sell my shows is social media. I don't know how you do it without it.
I'll tell you. It's because I've been doing comedy for so long in Durban that like if we do a show, like 20 people are gonna come. Like at least 20 people.
You've got your fan base. Totally. Yeah.
Yes. So when I do put something on social media, and then like once we let people know, like I'll use the platform like that, like to soft let people know, hey, doing the show on Friday. But also, as much as I'm saying that, I'm not gonna sell out the ICC. Like I'm very realistic about like where I am. My ideal comedy show is 80 people. If I get 80 people and they're all like sitting like, yo, pulling, that is my speed. Like that's a sweet spot for me, from like 80 to 400, depending on how the room is set up. I love it.
Do you know what is one of my favorite all-time ever gigs? Is Bat Center in Durban.
Yo, how was Bat Center?
Oh my God.
How was Bat?
I think it was, first of all, it's packed. There are maybe 300, 400, 500 people sitting.
No, that's too many.
How many?
350 is next. It feels like there's thousands.
It feels like there's thousands because you're sitting there on all your sides. So it's like theater in the round. Yes. It is the coolest. I mean, I've got cold shivers talking about it. It was one of my greatest, and I've only done it once, but one of my greatest experiences performing at Bat Center.
So you see, I'm spoiled because I do that once every 2 months. I do that venue once every 2 months minimum, sometimes more than that, because we've been doing comedy since 2008. Like we've been doing it as a regular comedy. So that's that. So when you say how do you sell our shows, I don't really bother because I know where I do my comedy. Unfortunately, New York is closed down. New York Comedy Club is closed down now. Most of the other comedy clubs in Durban. But I just rock up at the club, I do my thing, and I leave and I go home. Now and again, somebody phones me and they book me for something more significant. I mean, I've been on a national tour. I've performed in front of 13,000 people. But if that comes, it comes. It's not my focus. Like I'm here to do comedy at Bat Center every 2 months, and I'm fine. Like I don't need anything outside of that. Yeah.
Wow. No, I totally get you. It's amazing. It's all the good stuff about comedy. You're doing all the good stuff and doing what you love. And thank goodness for this radio job, because you're not in a position anymore where you're doing it out of total desperation, which a lot of comedians are in that place.
I know how it feels to be there, and you don't ever want to be there. It's lonely, bro. Like you can be in a room full of 500 people and it's lonely. Like you know when you leave the stage and you're not going to talk to somebody, you're leaving the stage to go find a guy and ask him, say, "Are we getting paid today?" You know, like when you're on stage and you're leaving and you're like, "Yo, say no, can I get that? Can I get that money? You're gonna EFT me the thing?" And then like it brings this other element into what you're doing.
Totally.
It's Sally's. It's Sally's.
Yeah. I'm always like, stage time, but it can be so bloody tough if you are dependent on comedy for money. Just starting out. Eventually there's loads of money, So sorry, Neil, carry on.
Oh no. I was just saying, like we get a lot of that in Durban now, where we've been doing it for long. And like somebody will be coming through and doing well and saying, "Yo, like so when do I commit myself to this fully?" And I always tell them, never. Don't. If you won't have to ask me. If the time comes for you to commit yourself to it fully, you won't need to ask somebody else. When the time comes to commit fully, it'll be clear to you that this is the time to commit fully. And there's no one you should consult about that. When it's the right time, it'll feel right. That your bank account will be looking a specific way, or your planner, your calendar will be looking a specific way, or mentally you'll be feeling like I could be doing more with the 5 days that I'm in the call center. Like you'll feel that and you should act on it. But I don't encourage a soul to do that, because if you're working and you got other income coming in, you can buy camera equipment. You can do so much with your car. Yes.
Yeah, and you work on comedy from 8 till midnight, Totally.
Yes, it's plenty time.
Yeah. So you've said that you've hit the big time, which is so bloody great.
Yeah.
What is next for Neil Green, either in lockdown or post-lockdown? And what is your new big time?
You know what it is? Like during the lockdown, I was saying with my social media, I've never been a person. I like to do the odd video every now and again. I like to be stupid. I love it. Like I enjoy doing stupid and behaving stupid things. Like I like having fun and I like being foolish. It's my favorite thing. But when the lockdown hit and I saw so many people scrambling to monetize the online aspects of what they did, I kind of looked at it and I went, "Oh, that's not for me." And I got booked for a few online things. I did Splashy Fin. I performed at Splashy Fin online this year.
Cool.
I performed in about 3 or 4 like significant online things. And
awesome.
I'll be honest with you, my attitude going in was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be different. There's no people there." And having done that now, I actually quite like the medium. I feel like there's a way that it can work properly for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. If the lockdown ends tomorrow or carries on forever long, I think I'm going to start looking at ways of bringing things to people. I mean, I'm in traditional media now, but I mean, outside of that, I want to do some stuff in the online space. I'm working in the background on some quite aggressive things that I want to try out. I don't know if they're going to work, but I'm going for it. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's really so cool. And also, it's so awesome that you took the chance and said, I don't know if I'm going to like this thing. And I don't know if it's going to work, but let me do it. Because there's so many comedians who I've spoken to who have been like, I'm a stand-up comic. And all I have is the theater and the audience, and I am not doing comedy online until I can go back to a theater. And that's understandable, but also in a way really scary if that is all you are known as, the stand-up comedy, and it's totally been taken away from you.
That's what happened. If you asked me on day one of lockdown, I would have answered exactly like how you said it now. But having then stepped out and done a few of those things, I've realized the audience has changed. What our idea of what an audience is has changed. I've always been hesitant to talk. Okay, can we talk frankly? Just for a second here, just for a second. Let's talk for real. Let's talk for real now.
Tell me all the real things.
A lot of these people that have massive online followings that are operating in the comedy sphere cannot live in a stage setting. Like I have been there when they've had to perform on stage and they are fucking trash, buddy, like bad, like hilarious. And that's always kind of like in a very jealous, mean-spirited way. Like I enjoy it when that happens. I'm being real.
We've been frank.
Like I enjoy it when it happens because I was like, see, that's the difference. Anybody can sit with a camera and do 45 takes of something until it comes out lacquer and then do it. But it's different when you're out there and you have to engage and react when it's not going that well. But that snooty attitude that I had inside me made me realize that, made me miss the fact that there's an opposite side to that as well. That no matter how good you are in the theater, right, can you live in that space that they in?
Yeah.
Like how would you do in their world? Yeah. It's like when we tease somebody because their English is not good. But yes, they speak a whole other language, buddy. Like
or a few other languages,
Or a few other languages. So we asked you to speak their language now. What you gonna do? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's been the thing here in comedy. That's why I'm looking to develop myself in that side now. Because I'm so at ease in the theater and in the club and on the stage. But I've done nothing in that nothing significant in that other space, and there's no reason that I shouldn't be. So I'm gonna be busy.
It's just so genius to have the whole package and for radio to be included in that package because you have loads of ears on you.
That landed on me.
You know what I mean?
Radio was the most fortuitous thing that happened to me. Even the way that it happened was just one of those things.
How did it happen? Tell me.
I'm gonna be real with you. I am one of those people. My wife, when we started dating, she hated the fact that I said that I'm agnostic. More specifically, hopeful agnostic. I said I'm a hopeful agnostic. That's my thing. And like she hated that. And it's because I may have whatever issues I may have with organized religion, right? But sometimes things happen in your life that are too neat for you to not understand that what's happening is by design. Like no one is this lucky, buddy. Like no matter how lucky you may feel, that's what happened with me in radio. I did a show with where East Coast Radio was one of the sponsors, and I had fun there and I met some of the people, all right? And then they invited me onto radio and I did some, like just some color pieces for them in the morning. I came on, I did a character for Valentine's Day, and it was fun. But even at that juncture, like I wasn't like, yeah, that's my thing. Like I wasn't. And then Gagazi, another radio station, that guy, my friend who's a comedian is a DJ there, Felix Klope. So Felix phoned me on air one day. And like we had such a laugh on air that the station manager contacted me and said, yo, we like what you did. Would you be interested in doing like a little feature with us for like 1 hour a week? So I said, yeah, sure. That sounds like fun.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. I've got full body shivers. That's amazing. That's amazing.
It gets crazier. So I said yes, but I had no idea how any of this works. So I phoned my friend who was working at East Coast Radio. He had just got a job at East Coast Radio at that time, like nighttime producer. You know, like he had just slid in, right? So I told him, like, yo, cuz, they want me to send something, a demo. Do you know what's a demo? So he says, yes, I know it's a demo. He says, don't worry, I'll record it for you. So he said, pull into the East Coast Radio studios and I'll record it for you. So I said, what must I bring? He said, nah, just bring ideas about what the kind of things that you would talk about if you were on radio, and I'll walk you through the rest of the process and I'll help you record it. Came in, recorded it, and then he said, what are you doing with this thing? So I said, I'm sending it to Kagazi. He said, do me a favor, send it here as well. This is the guy's email address, because I like how it sounded. He encouraged me a lot. He said, send it to this guy. So I went home and I sent it to those two people, right? Kagazi came back to me. They tuned right hundreds. They liked it. They're going to talk to me like when the next thing. So I said, all right, cool. So I phoned Simon. I told him, hey, whatever happened with that email that I sent to that other guy, because I'm about to go talk to Kagazi now. And he says to me, hey, that dude left. That guy left the station. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he left. So he said, I'm going to send you another email now. Send it to this guy who has now stepped in that role in the interim. But I didn't know that that guy was the station manager. Like, he was the... So I forwarded him this mail. So I forwarded him the mail and like a whole story about what happened, right? So he comes back to me and says, we have no positions open now at the moment, but we're looking for a traffic presenter. And it's open to the entire public. So if you want to, you can try out for that. So I came in to record like an interview, almost like an audition for this traffic job. So when I walk into this guy's office, he says to me, listen here, I was reading your email again and you came with your whole story about how you'd be willing to put in the work to do this thing. He says, how serious are you about that? I said, very. He says, just this morning, the other guy that resigned poached like another guy from the station and took him with him. And he's like, if you are keen, that position is just now opened. And like, we can look at you. And they put me on probation and the rest is history. Like, it just happened. So
that is by design. That is by design.
By design.
100%. Yeah. Wow. That is so incredible. And now you've been on East Coast Radio for how long?
2 years and a bit. 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. That's incredible. And what is your show about?
Oh, it's just. Let me tell you something. I'm so appreciative of the fact that in the station they hire creatives to be creative. Like, no one sits on top of you. Nobody. Like, you will get all the guidance and all the resources made available to you. But my boss is incredible. He says, do whatever you're doing. I back you 100%. And if we have to have a discussion about it after the fact, we'll have a discussion. But I want you to be you. Yes. And when I first came, there was a bit of a backlash when I first arrived on the stage, because you can hear me. I do not sound like a radio personality. I'm very obviously, I don't fit in that. I don't sound like what you would traditionally associate with a radio personality, right? So when I first came to the station, there was unfortunately quite a few complaints, messages. Let me call it what it is. Along racial lines. I'm going to call it what it is. Along racial lines, they were unhappy with the way I articulate myself, unhappy with the way I speak. They said I don't like his slang. Like, I don't even want to get into like how bad it was. And I started feeling it. I had never been. See the celebrity that comes with it? There's another side to it as well, where everything that negative that's happening to you is amplified now. So I had never experienced celebrity on any level. And I had never experienced this ugly parts of it as well. And it's that funny with me, And my boss called me in and I asked him, hey, are you hearing this stuff? Are you getting these emails? He's like, of course I am. He says, but that doesn't matter. We hired you to be you. Why would we ask you to be some other version of yourself? Yes.
That's so amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that every day, to know that the building is behind you. Do what you want to do. So the tone of my show is, so cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I've moved shows 4 times now, which is a big deal. Like, the progression, it's like, it feels there's inertia and there's momentum and it's going, it's happening, and it feels lucky. So like, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. In a place where I just ended up, as I said.
I'm so happy for you. That is so cool. And the show is just going to get bigger and better. And that's so bloody cool. It's
and
so
and you owe me an interview, because last time when you were in Durban, I said, please come through for an interview.
I know. Why didn't I didn't come through because I was like staying on the other side and had to Uber, and the Uber was like 7,000 rand.
Yes,
and I was like, Neil, my darling, I don't think I can make it. Because I was like, not a chance, not a bloody chance. But I do. And next time I'm there, I'm in that studio, my friend. I'm in that studio. So I am just so happy for you. You are doing so bloody well. We're going to be following you. We're going to be watching your Showmax special, following you on social media. It's just at Neil Green, correct?
82, at Neil Green 82.
82, that's the year you were born?
Yes, that is correct.
So he was born in 82, people. We now know how old he is. We're going to be following you. You are just such an inspiration. Thank you so much for spending time on The Big Time. I just appreciate and adore you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was splendid.
Wasn't it so fun?
Yes.
Hey? It was so fun. So nice to catch up with you. I just adore you.
Thank you so much.
Have the best show, my darling.
I will. Yes, well, have a good evening. Okay.
Yay, bye, my darling. Guys, that was Neil Green. He is doing so exceptionally well. So please follow him on all social media platforms at Neil Green. If you guys are loving the content I'm producing, loving The Big Time, please feel free to DM me. Let me know who you would like me to interview, and I will make sure that I get them on the show. We have the incredible Sifiso Nene on tomorrow night. Also, as I said, there are a lot of unemployed comedians at the moment. I'm an unemployed comedian. So if you are loving the content we are putting out, please feel free to scan this Busker code, which is over here. It's so hard to do because it's mirrored. It's over there. There's the Busker code. Please feel free to scan and donate. Any amount would be totally appreciated. But other than that, see you tomorrow night on The Big Time. Bye, guys.